One Piece chapter 1108, it is titled Come In World. In the last chapter, we continue with the Egghead arc. Luffy, he punched Saturn, Sanji, he kicked Light, and it appeared that Luffy and Sanji, they were going to fight against Kizaru and Saturn, and well, we know what happened in this chapter. Katarina, Devon, and Van Augur, they showed up. Honestly, last chapter was pretty intense, and this one was equally as good. The Giants, they interact with the Straw Hats. Luffy, he's going berserk, and Vegapunk, he is about to reveal something massive. Really good chapter. But if you guys enjoy regular breakdowns like these, make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. With that, my name is Potential Unleashed, and let's get into chapter 1108's breakdown. The color cover page that we got in this chapter, it has some of the women in One Piece, and we also got another one in chapter 1084 that had other characters. So people, they're speculating that this color cover page is based off of the One Piece novel Heroins, which is written by Jun Asaka. In this novel, it's basically just giving short stories about random events that happen during their daily lives. It's nothing crazy. Since it's not Oda's work, that's why we don't really talk about it that much. But the reason why I'm not entirely sure if this color cover page is based off of this novel is because there are two individuals that are missing that was in these short stories, which is Perona and Vivi. I wanted to mention this because it's possible, so take it with a grain of salt. Van Augur, he is skeptical about letting Caribou go and see Blackbeard, and this because he is a Yonko. Now, I'm not going to dive too much into detail about this because I did address it last week, but the reason why Caribou wants to join the Blackbeard Pirates and meet Teach is because of the information that he has. We know that Caribou, he knows that Poseidon is Shirahoshi and she is at Fishman Island, and also that Pluton, it is in Wano. Meaning that if Blackbeard, if he were to find out that his crew and Luffy's, they would be the only individuals that knows the locations of 2 out of 3 of the ancient weapons. After revealing this information to Teach, is he gonna let Caribou live? Will he let him join his crew? Will he try and steal and take his dirt fruit? I'm actually not sure. Blackbeard, he's a mysterious person. A major dilemma that the Navy Vice Admirals currently have, it involves destroying the Pacifista because they are expensive and they are powerful, so they don't want to get rid of them since they are so valuable. With the new upgrades like the Bubble Shield, which is a reference to chapter 1074, Vice Admirals like Bluegrass, Hound, and Guillotine, they can't show their true power because they don't want to destroy these weapons, which is why the focus has shifted on trying to destroy the Pacifista to trying to kill Bonnie because she now has access to them, and that's why I say she is such an important character for the endgame of the series, and depending on how Oda writes her role, she definitely is a game changer. Vice Admiral Tosa, he is currently chasing after Bonnie and spots her, so he decides to coat his hands in armor hockey and is attempting to attack Frankie and Bonnie with a Tosa bite. We know that Tosa, he is a Rokushiki user, and this is the same attack that Jabra he used on Usopp, except for this time it is coated in armor hockey. However, before he does this, he gets one-shotted by Brogy, and this makes me question how strong the Vice Admirals are, because on one hand, they are Vice Admirals, and the rank that they are about to achieve after this one would be Admirals, and we know how strong those are. But on the other hand, well, most of the time the Vice Admirals end up looking bad just like this. So I can't properly scale them or say if they're strong, say if they're weak. I don't really know. Dory and Brogy, they are asking Frankie if he is a part of the Straw Hat crew because we know that Frankie, he did not meet these two at Little Garden, and his wanted poster, it is not him, it is of the Thousand Sunny. As they are talking, Bonnie, she asked the two giants to save not only Luffy but Vegapunk and Sanji as well, and Brogy, he smiles and says, "We got it." And I love this because it takes me back to how when we first met him, he smiled at both Nami and Usopp during their first interaction. They also mentioned that Vegapunk is the name that one scholar mentioned. A lot of people there are saying it is Saul, which could be true, But I've seen Oda do this before. Maybe this means Nico Olivia, maybe this is Professor Clover still being alive. But like I said, it's probably Saul because the next page, they had an interaction with Bluegrass and Doll where Doll stated that Saul was her commanding officer a little over 20 years ago. Circling back to the fight with Saturn, Kizaru, and Luffy's group, Saturn, he appears to be in his full zone form. When he was first introduced, he was in what we speculate to be his hybrid form, and Sanji, he states that he's less and less human by the minute. Could this be implying that Saturn is indeed a devil? Sanji's tasked with getting Vegapunk to safety while Luffy fights Saturn. However, Kizaru, he ends up kicking Sanji away and stabs Vegapunk, and there's a couple things that could have happened here. Sanji, he is tasked with getting Vegapunk to safety while Luffy fights against Saturn. However, while Sanji is trying to escape, Vegapunk, he ends up getting stabbed by Kizaru after Sanji is kicked away by him. There's a couple things that I want to address here. The first is with Vegapunk. I've seen so many people talk about how Kizaru, he ended up cauterizing Vegapunk's wound. If you guys don't know what cauterizing something is, in essence, it's when you use heat in order to stop the bleeding from a wound. Kiemon, he did this to Kiku when she ended up losing her arm in the fight against Kaido. I'm not a doctor, so I don't know exactly what wounds are too severe to be cauterized, but at the same time, it's One Piece's fiction, so it's possible. But back to Sanji, I drank the Kool-Aid. I ain't gonna lie, I fell for it. I thought that this was gonna be the first time that Sanji would have had back-to-back cool moments, and well, Oda did me dirty. Sanji always looks cool in one chapter, and then the very next one, he looks kind of trash. Like, did Sanji actually forget that Kizaru, he was still around and thought that he could just freely just carry Vegapunk out of there? It's the same old Sanji. We saw it with Virgo, how he ended up kicking him away and then he fractured his leg. With Doflamingo, he stopped him from attacking their crew, but then he ended up getting bullied and destroyed by him. King, we know he saved Momo and then was dragged into the dirt. Heck, even during Whole Cake Island when he was carrying Luffy, he didn't do a really good job of that. At this point, we might have to kick Sanji off the rescue team. Luffy, he ends up grabbing both Kizaru and Saturn here, and this is probably my second favorite panel of Egghead so far. I think my favorite is still in chapter 1103 when Kuma saved Bonnie. I like this one because this is the first time that I can confidently say that Luffy looked really serious in Gear 5th. There are so many people who said, oh, well, Gear 5th, it ruins the tension, it's so goofy. Not anymore. Because look out how big, how massive Luffy looks here. Saturn, in his hybrid form, he was already towering over Kuma, who had to jump in order to punch him, and Kizaru, he's like 10 feet tall, and Luffy is towering over both of them. He also said, you guys aren't going anywhere, and I love it whenever Luffy talks his ish. This takes me back to Marineford, when Kizaru stated that Luffy can't help anyone by sheer force and will, and he needed strength. Well, Luffy's got it now. The chapter, it ends with Vegapunk's recording of himself apparently telling the world about what exactly the truth is. Now, I'm not sure if he's referencing the Void Century or he's showcasing what has happened in Egghead involving Kizaru, Saturn, and the world government, or it also could be the truth of what happened with Kuma, with Bonnie, and why he became a warlord. But nevertheless, if the entire world hears this, the world government is definitely in trouble because Sabo, he's already caused more countries to revolt against the world government, and they view him as a savior, as the Flame Emperor. When people find out about the truth, the countries that are already affiliated with the world government, are they going to try and leave and no longer have that affiliation? How many other countries are then going to revolt? There's also the Marines. We know that with the cross guild system that there's already different amounts of bounties, some in the millions, some in the billions. So we already know if people are taking advantage of the system now, once the truth gets out, more people are going to have grievances against the Navy, against the world government, different pirates, and different civilians. They are going to take advantage of this system even more. The truth being revealed, it has so much implications on the world, on the pirates, on the civilians, on the Marines, the revolutionaries, you name it. And I can't wait to see what happens next week because, yay, we do not get a break. But thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know how you guys feel about this chapter in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. subscribe, hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video from me. Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok is on the screen and in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to unleash your potential.